Hi guys, welcome to our channel. This is Bruno from TotalCross, and today we're gonna see how can we connect our GUI application with a REST web service using JSON. And for that, we choose a public API with some Corona data. We're gonna plot this information in a chart, and also we're gonna see how can we load a local JSON file that are stored on the device. And for that, we're gonna use this device. This device is from Novus Automation. And it's running a Toradex Colibri board with IMX6 ULL with no GPU. Okay, let's get started, guys. So first of all, we need to find an API. So we are using RapidAPI. On this website, you're gonna see a lot of different APIs, public APIs with Corona data and more, with different APIs too. And we're gonna use this one, coronavirus map, okay? In the latest report with all the informations. Also, if you want to see all the source code of this application is available at our GitHub, okay, you can access right now. Let's take a look at the application. After that, we're gonna see a little bit about the methods and more. So let's run the simulator. And also, we stored a local JSON file here, as I said. We're gonna see how to connect with the API, but also how can you load this JSON file directly on the device, okay? So here's the application. It's connecting with that API in a line chart. Unfortunately, we have a lot of cases of Corona, more than 11 million. It's too much. Let's see a little bit about the code. So basically, we have two classes here. The Corona chart is the chart that we are printing. It's built from the scratch. We're gonna talk more about this in the next video, okay? And we have the Corona chart app, which is the main window that is going to load all the UI and also make the connection with the web service. So it's the main window, okay? Also, to make the animation, we are using an update listener. We're gonna see that in the next videos too. In the initUI method, we are loading all the components like the label, the buttons, and the chart too. The most important method here that we need to see is the field data. We are using this method to load the information. So here we are using the API from RapidAPI. So we can see here from latest report is the same URL that we are using. To use this API, it's required to inform a key. So let's take a look in this method. We are using HTTPS to connect here. So we have a lot of instructions here for the HTTPS. Also, we are sending our secret key to the site so they can know who is connecting, okay? So this method is connecting with the API and getting the information from the RapidAPI. So every time that I hit start, it's connect to the web service, download all the information and plot in the chart. So now let's see how can we load this JSON file that are stored on my device. Let's make a comment here. So TotalCross has a class called VM that you can do a lot of different stuff, especially interact with native. So here we are going to use the get file. Everything that we put here in the resources folder is going to be loaded with the TotalCross application, so we can have access on the device. So here we are accessing the request.json, okay? We are parsing this to a string, and after that, we are parsing again to a JSON object. And this JSON object will be parsed to some lists, like the confirmed cases, recovered cases, and the death list too. After that, we're gonna order this with the date to plot on the chart, okay? So now let's run the simulator using the information here that is stored on my device. Also, this information is a little bit outdated, so we can see the difference between the two approaches. Now we're going to load the JSON file that are stored on my device. So as you can see, when I got that JSON file, the number of cases was 5 million, really lower than now, 11 million. And let's see how can we use both on my device. Let's create a checkbox here to make an interaction with the UI, and so the user can choose which one he wants which approach he wants to see on the screen. Now let's add this checkbox on my screen. For that, we need to use the initUI method. Let's place it just before the start button, okay? And the position will be after the start button and right in the center of the start button. Okay, but also let's make a space between the two components. So if I add this plus FMH, we are going to add a space between the start button and our checkbox. Also, we need to do styling on this component. So let's set the back and the fore color. For the back color, I'm going to use the same as the background. And for the fore color, I'm going to use white. Let's see how this will behave on my simulator. Okay, awesome. The component is working. It has a little gap between the two components, okay? But it's doing nothing. Now we need to connect with the application to load or not the information, the offline information. So in the field data, let's make a condition here. So if the component is not checked, it's going to use the REST connection. If it is checked, we're going to use the offline information. So let's see here on my simulator. So now when I hit the start button, it will use the REST connection, 11 million cases. And when I use the offline data, it's supposed to use my offline JSON file, only 5 million. So now let's run this directly on the device to see how it will behave. And for that, let's package everything. And again, this file, as it is inside the resources folder, it will be packaged with the TotalCross application. Okay, so every file that you place here, it will be automatically available on your device too. Okay, now let's run on my device. Again, using the deploy and run. Awesome, the application is deployed. Now let's switch the camera to see the application running on my device. So let's deploy the application on the device. Now let's run this application. And just to remember, this is a Toradex Colibri module with a MX6 ULL, no GPU, from Novus Automation. Okay, let's start this to make the connection with the REST API. So the chart is also running. And if we want to change to the offline JSON file, just need to hit here offline data, and then let's see again the interaction with the chart. It's a little bit hard to see the buttons here because of the light, but we can also change that for days, week, and month. And also we want to make more interactions here, like adding some other information like country and more. And it's running really fluid, even if we don't have GPU here. So today we saw how can we connect our GUI application with a REST web service using JSON. Also we saw how can we load JSON files that are stored offline on the device. But it's also possible to connect your application with different kinds of web services like SOAP with XML. It's also possible to open a direct socket connection and build your own protocol. In the next video, we're gonna see how can we build the charts using TotalCross API and also writing it from the scratch. So don't forget to leave your comments here in the video if you like it or not, if you have any suggestions too. Enjoy the conversation with us in our social networks like LinkedIn, Twitter, and in the Telegram group. Also, thank you Novus Automation and Toradex for this device. Okay? Thank you guys, see you next time.